Hey, welcome back to another episode. Well, this is technically the first episode of a new segment called I'll Say It So You Don't Have To. This is basically where I rant and think all of my thoughts out loud, and you're probably thinking it too, so I'll just do us both a favor and say it. Right, during today's rant, I'm going to be baking because I do most of my intelligent thinking when I'm busy. So yeah, let's do that and let's get talking.
I'll say it so you don't have to. Every awkward thought I got you. Relax, take a
I'm
break.
making scones today. I have already measured out 7 cups of flour, so I'm going to mix my dry ingredients quickly. The thing that's been on my mind of late is unsolicited advice. Like, why do people feel that it's okay to just spring your opinions and your ideas and your advice on people about things that have nothing to do with you, like things that people are going through in their personal lives, and that you may happen to know because they've decided to confide in you, or you know for whatever reason, right? Whatever reason, you know what's going on in that person's life. And then now you feel like you are entitled to give an opinion or to give advice, to tell them what they should and shouldn't do in that situation. I just think that's weird. I really think that's weird because oftentimes, if a person really wants to know what you're thinking or what you think they should do in that situation, they will ask you, right? People will ask. It's not a difficult thing to ask someone for advice. But sometimes a person tells you stuff, because they just need someone to listen to them. They don't need to hear your opinion. They don't need to hear that you would never do that, or you should have done that, and all of that. I just think unsolicited advice is insane, especially when it comes to relationship advice. I am personally not an advocate for giving or taking relationship advice. I don't often ask people for relationship advice. I mean, if a person asks me for relationship advice, I'll offer them my 2 cents, but that's because they asked. I will never just randomly give someone advice about their relationship just because, you know. But relationship advice baffles me even more because, firstly, you are giving this person advice when you are not a part of this relationship to begin with. Like, you are not a member of the relationship. You don't actually know the ins and outs of that relationship. So what are you basing your advice on? And that's where the problem lies, because oftentimes when people give relationship advice, they base it on their personal experiences and their traumas, their insecurities. They project things that they've been through onto you and what they wish they'd done in their situation, and it doesn't always help. I feel it doesn't always help because the situations can never be the same, especially when it comes to relationship matters. People are different in different relationships. So even if a person is in a relationship with your ex, you can't actually say you know exactly what kind of advice to give that person just because you've been in a relationship with the same person, because people act differently around different people. So the dynamics of your relationship with that person may not be the same as their relationship with the next person, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't get the idea of unsolicited advice. I don't get people who always want to enforce, or impose their opinions on others, because at the end of the day in life, the whole purpose of everything is that we live and we learn. That's it. The whole point is that you're supposed to make your own mistakes. You're supposed to burn at some point and then you learn not to do that again. This thing of people wanting to coddle you and people wanting to hold your hand through every situation and wanting to tell you what to do and no, you shouldn't do it like this, no, you shouldn't do it like that. Personally, I don't like it. I don't like it. And then there's the thing that finishes me is when you're a newlywed, the number of people who want to give you marital advice is unreal. The amount of people who want to give you marital advice is unreal when you are newlywed. Ask me, I know. And I'm not talking within the family, I'm talking in general, like people in general, when they find out that you are married and you're a newlywed, asika advice ke komke. And it's just like, what are you advising me on? Like, advice on fanya, it based on A. What is it based on? Because you don't know the dynamics. How many eggs do I need? You don't know the dynamics. You don't know my partner. You barely know me in most cases. I mean, it's probably someone that I've just met. Yes, 4. It's probably someone that I've just met or that I've known for a short while, and then we happen to talk about me being married. And then you want to give marital advice. Please. No. I don't even ask for advice from people I know that I've known for a long time, because I'm a strong believer in finding out for myself and learning from my mistakes. You can't go around giving people advice about things that you know nothing about, especially people who aren't and never have been married. Now, this is not a jab at people who are not married. There's nothing wrong with not being married. But don't come and tell me about my marriage when you don't have your own marriage as a reference. And even though I don't want people to reference their own relationships, but don't. Worse, basically, you're in a worse position to give advice if you've never even been in the situation. Or project from you who has never even been in that situation, you've never been in a marriage, and then you want to tell me about marriage. How does it work? How does it work for you? I don't get it. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about how people give unsolicited advice, especially if people haven't seen you in a long time. The people who give unsolicited advice actually fall in the same category as the people who comment on other people's weight. People who comment on other people's weight when they see them, same WhatsApp group with the people who give unsolicited advice. Because what is your problem? Like, what is your problem? But yeah, this is what has been on my mind for a while. Because of the number of times that I've seen it happen, and it happens in so many different ways. It happens in person, it happens online, like strangers do it. You see people commenting in other people's videos, no, you mustn't hold the baby like that, this and this will happen, rather do this with the baby, don't feed the baby that, here, don't wait until the baby is 6 months to feed it solid. Who asked you? No, you mustn't cook that for your husband, you mustn't do this and that. But whom? People can't even share their content in peace because unsolicited advice givers are on a rampage. Like, people are even afraid to do simple things. Because plastic is going to contaminate it. I don't know. I don't actually. I don't actually know. Okay. You can't even live in peace. You can't even like take baby steps in your own journey and figure things out on your own, and you know, just live, Jay. Just do things the way that you prefer to do them, because no rice I pay you jalo. So stop. And the rice thing is exaggerated, but it gets that deep. Like, people who can't help but give unsolicited advice don't know when to stop. They will advise you about every single thing because they know better. For some reason, you must trust that they know better. So I'm just mixing my liquids here. I've got the eggs, the milk, and the custard. I just need the custard to fully integrate because, yeah, it's the least liquid of the two ingredients, if you know what I mean. So it's the thicker one of the three ingredients. But yeah, I think now we've got a nice, how do I do this? Okay, let's just tilt the camera. There we go. A nice consistency, I think. Then we're gonna add a butter to our dry ingredients. I've always wanted to have a cooking show, you know. Cooking, I haven't always enjoyed cooking. I think I'm just getting into it now in my adulthood, in my own kitchen. I always wanted to have a cooking show. I've liked watching cooking shows and I've admired people on cooking shows. And I've always felt like, you know, I could do it. Why not? So maybe this is it. Maybe this will be the start of my cooking series. Who knows? I won't always be cooking when I do this segment, but it might be often. It might happen often. Okay, so I just need 250 grams. This butter has actually softened up more than I expected because it was in the freezer for quite a few days because I've been putting off baking for a while. Don't ask me why. But I've been putting off baking for a while. So I've frozen the butter. And now I'm finally doing it. Okay, I'm gonna put you aside. Okay, we're gonna take the wedding ring off. And I usually just cut up my butter so that it's easier to work into the dry ingredients. One thing that I need to invest in is gloves. I need to buy gloves that I can use when I'm in the kitchen, particularly when I've got my nails done like this. But I'll just use a plastic for today. And no, the plastic is not going to contaminate the food. I don't even know where I'm getting the story of the plastic contaminating the food, but it's just what's on my mind. And that is the whole point of this. It's just me thinking out loud. And I just shudder to think like what the worst type of advice people have received that they didn't even ask for could be. Because some people really know no bounds, hey? Like when it comes to involving themselves in other people's business, they really are limitless. They don't know when to stop. They are not winners. They really don't know when to stop, and they just go on and on and on and on and on, and they involve themselves even further. People even give you advice about things that like things that they shouldn't even be bothering to think about, like things that, not that other aspects of other people's lives have anything to do with you in general, but there are certain things that are even worse, like even further out of your reach as an outsider, you know. Okay, I need to fix this camera angle. Here we go. Better. Okay, I'm just chopping up the butter. It is still quite hard, but it has softened up significantly, considering that I only took it out of the freezer like 2 hours ago. It just goes to show how hot it is, even though it was raining very heavily, like with lightning and thunder, about 30 minutes ago. It is still warm, and I don't even understand this weather. Like, what kind of weather is this in any case? What are we living in? Because it'll rain so hard, like a storm, a whole storm, lightning, thunder, and then the minute it stops raining, that heat just comes flooding back. So our only saving grace is the rain, but only for as long as it lasts. The minute it stops raining, we are doomed. We are doomed with the heat. This step is taking so long. I'm gonna do this quickly and then I'm gonna come back. So the reason I'm baking on a random weekday is because my husband has been asking for scones for the longest time now. And to be honest, baking is something that I do enjoy doing, and I like playing with recipes, but it's not something that I want to do every day. So I haven't really been in the mood, and then I got in the mood and I realized I don't have baking powder in the house. Then I got out of the mood. Instead of just going to buy baking powder, then I got bored and I just didn't bake. So now I finally got everything I need, including the willingness to bake and baking powder. Everything, all the other ingredients were in the house, and I just needed baking powder. And you can't make scones. You definitely cannot make scones without baking powder. So instead, what I made on that day was cinnamon rolls, because they need yeast, not baking powder. And I know it's strange that I have yeast and not baking powder in the house, especially as someone who doesn't make my own dumplings or steamed bread. But that's just the case. That's just what it was. And yeah, now I am here trying to surprise him before he gets back from work. And he's gonna come home to some homemade scones. Cute, I know. Can you believe I forgot to add the vanilla essence? Who does that? About a teaspoon. That may have been more. Who knows? But yes, you add that to your wet ingredients. And now that I have successfully integrated my butter with my dry ingredients, the wet ingredients are going straight in. So yeah, back to my rant. Another thing that has been bothering me of late is how much TikTok is turning into Twitter. And by TikTok I mean the comment section of TikTok, not the content that's being uploaded, but the comments that are being left on people's videos. I deleted Twitter a while ago, like I think it's been 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken. I deleted Twitter. I have never in my life felt so weighed down by the internet as I did when I was on Twitter. Obviously, I'm a small account person, none of the attacks are directed at me, but just seeing how vile some comments are, and just seeing how like heartless people are out there, particularly when they're hiding behind a screen. I'm almost 100% certain that half of the things that people say online, they wouldn't be able to say to that person to their face. Like, because it's so rude, it's so vile. Like, what kind of upbringing does one have to truly be okay with speaking to other people like that and saying such horrible things to people? I don't know, it baffles me. It really baffles me. I don't get it. I really don't get it. What is wrong? And half the time, the people who have these vile comments have no business having vile comments. Like, they have no business making vile comments, because it's either old men in really young women's accounts or videos, comment sections of those videos that belong to young women, making comments that have absolutely nothing to do with them, making very disgusting comments, derogatory comments. And it's like, are you not somebody's father, perhaps? Do you not have a job? Are you not busy? Why was this video so important to you that you couldn't help but leave your comment? Why is this the most important thing in your day today? Why are you bothered so much by the content of this video that you have to leave such a vile comment? When people are just living their lives, people are just out living their best lives, and they choose to document it because they have the right to choose to document their lives. They choose to document it, they choose to put it up on social media, and then you come and you spread negativity unnecessarily. Like, there is no need. There is absolutely no need. And the toxicity I fear that is on Twitter is making its way. The Twitter users have reached TikTok now. They've reached TikTok. They make horrible comments. I saw in my previous job, the choir I was in charge of was in a competition, and they uploaded videos of all the schools, different videos of all the schools that participated in the competition on their TikTok page. And some of the comments in the comment section, it's okay if you don't like how one choir sounds, or the lead singer in a particular song, or whatever. It's okay. It's okay. Music is subjective. I wish I wasn't home alone right now and I could get my husband to tie these with me so they'd be more secure. But it's okay. We move. Anyway, I'll say, music is subjective, right? Not everyone's going to like every sound, and we don't expect you to. But the nice thing about TikTok is that if you don't like something, you are not forced to engage with it just because it came up on your FYP or whatever. You can scroll up, you can click not interested so that you don't ever see that content again. You can block the account even if it's that bad, right? So that you don't have to engage with that content ever again. What you don't have to do, what is absolutely unnecessary for you to do, and it seems to be everyone's go-to, is to go in there, go into that video, click the comment button, and write the most horrible things about children. Like, forgetting that it is children. Children are singing in those videos. It's okay if you don't like the way they sound, that's fair, but you don't have to express that. And you don't have to express it in the meanest way possible. You don't have to write things that are going to make these children question themselves and damage their self-esteem forever. It's disheartening, actually, to see how far humanity has fallen. That there isn't even grace for children. Like, there isn't even grace for children. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes on. There is really a lot that goes on. But yeah, I just think the TikTok comment section is becoming very vile. Some of the comments are funny, I won't lie. Yeah? Some comments are funny, and you can see that even in the way that they're written, even though obviously we don't know what's going on in the mind of the person who wrote the comment, but even in the way that they're written, they don't come across as malicious or aggressive. Other comments though, you can see that a person is really, really, really angered or triggered or something. But I get command, man. There's a big issue at hand. An issue that is much bigger than the content on which they are commenting. And I don't know, guys, social media is not supposed to be that serious, if you ask me. Especially not TikTok, not a platform like TikTok. Not a platform like TikTok, it's not supposed to be that serious. I think the biggest problem is people who are jealous of others and people who just genuinely cannot express happiness for the success of others. That's the biggest problem we're facing, because those are the people who have all the time and the energy in the world to leave those horrible comments on people's videos. Personally, I don't get it, and I don't understand why you would do that. But hey, what can we say? What can we say? And this is why a lot of creators now, especially the non-famous creators, like people who just post their videos and stuff, but they're not like known, not influencers and stuff. This is why I feel a lot of them are starting to switch off their comments. I need to find a way to type. Oh, there's an elastic. This is why people close off their comments, because they don't want to deal with the drama and the negativity. What time is it? By the time this man comes home, I must at least have one batch done. I must at least have one batch done. Okay, I think it'll be more stable. There we go. So that he can get a welcome home scone. Another thing that has annoyed me, if I'm going to go back to the unsolicited advice thing, people who will constantly be like, oh my gosh, how come you didn't go to the Makayas this December? Just because I was getting married last year, guys, it doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically spend every December in KZN. You stop. Whoa. I will go. I will. It doesn't have to be now. It does. Also, I don't have to go in December. Like, KZN doesn't close during the other months. I can go visit my husband's family any other time of the year. Okay, I think I'm gonna transfer the stove to the counter so I can read it properly. You don't have to, like, as a As a bride, you are not forced to go to your in-laws every December. That is a decision that you and your husband will make together. And obviously, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for other people and their marriages. But in my marriage, I am not forced to go to KZN every December. Oh, I need a new placement. Okay, that's fine. You're not forced. I'm not forced to go to KZN every December. Right? My husband and I will decide when we want to go to KZN. Even if it's not in December, we can go to KZN during other months in the year. It doesn't have to be December. And yeah, this year we're not going. Maybe we might go next year. Who knows? We'll see. But it is what it is. And then you'll find people who say things like, no, but you're supposed to, but you have to. And I'm like, according to who? According to who? Whose law is it that I have to go to KZN every single December? It's not a law. This is working. It's not a law at all, right? Different families operate in different ways. There are some families where it's a set thing that, yeah, in December everyone is there, everyone's home, everyone and their spouse and their children. Not the side. And not because of anything, there's no politics behind it. But, Jay, we have choices in this family. We are not oppressed. Okay, so we will go to KZN when we are getting ready and when we want to go to KZN. So we're just going to we're having a quiet December at home, just the two of us, enjoying each other's company. Another thing that finishes me about myself, I'm such a procrastinator, and I keep saying the next time I'm gonna do this, the next time I'm gonna do this. I bake so often, right, in this house. I bake so often, and every time I bake, I say, I need to remember to buy a rolling pin for the next time I bake. I need to remember to buy a rolling pin, and then I never do. You know why? Because I managed to bake and roll out my dough using something else and not a rolling pin, and then I never buy a rolling pin. So I still don't have a rolling pin. Okay, adding some more flour to the surface so that I can roll out my dough nicely. This is my go-to. I use this bottle for rolling out. I got this bottle, it's grape juice. It's not even alcoholic. It's just grape juice. I got this bottle when I bought my car. It was part of my gift from the dealership. So I don't know when I'm going to open it and drink it. I'm not really a fan of grape juice. It's not even grape, it's grape and strawberry. Yeah, I'm right. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll open it. For now, it makes a really good rolling pin. And I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. I need to fix the order in which I have done things today. Okay, but I'll do that once I'm done rolling this out before I cut my first batch. Okay, so I guess when you're rolling out your dough, you can decide what your desired thickness is. because then that will determine the thickness of your scones. I think I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it here. Okay. Put this baby on the side. Right. Let's just make it smaller so it's easier to work with. So the thing that I was saying that I didn't do, I have not greased my pan and I have not preheated my oven. So I'm going to do that now before I cut out my scones from this. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay. Let me just do everything else. Also, just to go off on another tangent, how is it so easy for some people to make friends? Like, I know it sounds like such an odd question to ask, but I find it so daunting. Like, the task of starting a conversation with me is not something that I think I am cut out for. Personally, I'm not very good at it. And actually, I don't even think it's that I'm not very good. It's just that I haven't tried. And I haven't actually found the willingness to try. I'm going to grease my pan the old-fashioned way with butter. And that's purely because I usually use the cooking spray. But with scones, I found that the taste of the spray lingers at the bottom of the scones. And I don't like that. So I'm just going to use butter. Okay, let me use plastic. So I'm just going to use butter because I don't want to taste cooking spray in my scones. And then I'm going to put my oven on 180. I don't even know why I put my oven on 180, but 180 is like my go-to temperature setting on my oven. Whether I'm grilling chicken or baking, I always put the stove on 180 unless I'm reading a recipe and giving it a different temperature. But my go-to is always 180. I don't know who told me about putting the stove on 180, but that person ruined me forever. Okay, and then what am I going to use to cut today? I'm going to use a whiskey glass. Or actually, I'll use these. I'm going to use these coffee glasses because we don't drink out of them, so I will have a chance to wash it before anyone needs to use it again, which will be today anyway. I will wash it, but nobody's going to miss it if I don't, so it's a safe bet. Put some flour on the rim so that it doesn't stick. And cut your dough. But yeah, I need to fix that about myself. Like, you know, I'm an adult. I need to stop being afraid to talk to people and just start conversations. It gets so bad that I'm even afraid to ask questions. Like if I'm looking for a service provider, it takes me a while to go into a salon and inquire. It takes me a while because for me, that's the same as starting a conversation, and that's something that I struggle with. I don't know how to start a conversation with someone. So yeah, I don't know. I need to grow up a little bit more and do better in that regard. Maybe I should make that one of my, no, actually never mind. No. It will not be a New Year's resolution. I will not be going out of my way to make new friends. I don't even know why I psyched myself up in saying that when I know fully that it's not going to happen. No dear, not this girl. That one, that's not happening. Not in this life. Me, go up to a person and start a conversation, start a friendship. No, Sana. The people who also fascinate me are people who fan guy in public. Like when you see a celebrity and you run up and say, oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you? Yo. I mean, nothing wrong. You do you. I just don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I pull a very straight face when I'm walking in public because I'm trying very hard not to talk to anyone unless I'm with people, right? Then that's different. But if I'm alone, like in the mall or something, I try very hard to not attract attention, and I don't want people to talk to me. And I get like, the thing is, when I'm at the mall on my own, firstly, the fact that I went to the mall on my own means there's something urgent that couldn't wait for a time when I can go with someone. So I needed to go on my own. So I'm most probably going to be in and out. And if it's not that urgent, it'll wait. If I don't have to be outside to get it done, then I won't. If I can get it done any other way, like I use food delivery apps quite often because sometimes it's just a thing of I don't want to go outside. Like I don't want to see people. I don't want to have to go to the shops, you know. So yeah, let's forget that fake New Year's resolution I was about to make. Let's not lie to ourselves. I will not be starting any new conversations or initiating any friendships in 2025, as I have not been doing for the past 25 years of my life. It is not happening. If I was a man and society expected me to initiate and make the first move in order for me to end up with a partner, I would be single. I would be very single because no, I can't do it. Okay, we've got one batch already. I'm just gonna whip up an egg wash. I'm just gonna use the same dish that I used to mix my liquids in earlier. The egg wash will still have that custardy flavor. Another thing that I keep telling myself I must buy, so I'm going to buy it for the next time I bake, is a brush, a very brush. And I never do, as you can see, because I don't have it. I never buy the brush. At this point, I honestly don't know what's wrong. I'm gaslighting myself. It's not getting smooth. Okay, egg wash. I think we are going to be able to have at least one complete batch by the time the mister gets home. So at least I worked quickly enough considering how late I started. Because I started at like almost 2 o'clock. And he'll probably be back around 5 or 6, depending on traffic. But I'm hoping that traffic isn't so bad anymore because of what time of the year it is. Okay, so in the meantime, my first tray is in. I'm just going to grease another one. 2 of 2. And then I'm going to continue rolling. I also decided that I want some of them, but I'm going to make it like a small portion because I'm doing this for the first time in case they flop. If it's not the bulk that's flopping. I'm going to make it a small portion. I'm going to add some blueberries to the dough. I'm going to make some blueberry scones. I hope it turns out good. These ones are for me. Because he probably won't like them, but I'll let him try one. But he generally he likes a normal scone. He likes the usual scone. So the thing like he probably won't like it. So I'm guessing. I'm assuming. I don't know because we've never tried blueberry scones before. But yeah, I think that was a pretty decent first ranting session. Nobody's here to answer these questions for me. Nobody's here to tell me why people give unsolicited advice. And I don't even think people who do give unsolicited advice can answer that question. Like, they just feel the need to share their thoughts. They're not always malicious. They are sometimes genuinely trying to help. So, can we hate them for it? I don't think we should. Do they need to stop? Yes, I think they do. Or at least they need to know when to reel it in. Definitely. They definitely need to know when to reel it in. Will they? Will they ever learn when to reel it in? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this rant. I will be sure to show you the finished products at the end. But yeah, I will see you on the next one.
So this is how I made the blueberry scones. I just added some flour to a bowl of washed blueberries. The flour is just so that the blueberries can integrate well with the dough and it's not messy. I don't know the full science behind it, but I've just seen other bakers doing it like that and it worked well for me as well. So once I had tossed the blueberries in flour, then I kneaded them into a piece of the dough. So like I said earlier, I'm not using all of the dough or the remaining dough for the blueberries because I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. So I just cut off another piece from the remaining dough, kneaded the blueberries into it, and then rolled it out and got ready to cut out my scones. So at this point now I'm cutting the scones out, and as you can see, the blueberries are fairly integrated. Yeah, there's a bit of blueberry in each cut, not equally distributed unfortunately, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, and so I just kept kneading and cutting until I had finished that dough with the blueberries in it, and I just got ready and waited for my first batch to get done so that I could use the tray to put on the blueberry scones. I also didn't want to mix the blueberry and non-blueberry scones on the same tray just in case they needed additional cooking time because of the fresh fruit inside. So I didn't want to risk it, but yeah.
Okay, our first batch is done. I can't lift it up for you to see, but because the tray is still hot. But that's the first batch done. Nice golden brown on the top, and I hope they're fluffy and stuff on the inside. I'm not gonna touch them now, but yeah, I can't wait for his reaction when he comes home. Second batch is in the oven, and then when these ones cool off, I'm gonna use the same tray to put in the first blueberry batch, and then that'll determine if I make another one or not. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.